everything that you read, LinkedIn, conferences you go to, people are talking about Gen AI. And a few years back, everyone was talking about cost optimization. Today, we're going to talk about how those two relate and how you can use cost optimization techniques that we've refined and built out with our customers, and how that connects back to an innovation agenda, which includes things like Gen AI. So we're excited to share our experiences with you. And with that, let's get started. I lead our go-to-market and strategy for our analytic and data services here at Impetus. I'm joined, thankfully, by Swati. She is an architect savant, skilled at utilizing containerized environments, cloud services and technologies, and she enables our customers to use all of that in the cloud in an efficient, optimal manner. She's passionate about the design and deployment of end-to-end DevOps processes that ensure seamless integration and delivery for her clients. I think between the both of us, we'll be able to tell the tale of cost optimization and using the rewards from that to finance your innovation agenda. SMEs in particular have a real inflection point with Gen AI and really using innovation to compete with not only their peers, but also larger size companies as well. But as they're doing that, they run across some gaps that they have in content, insights, technology that other companies may not be facing. And embracing this shift and really using their innovation agenda can provide a competitive edge that gives them a chance to compete and succeed in the market. You have financial constraints, limited budgets. They make that tough to manage rising cloud costs and sustain an innovation agenda. Resource limitations. You have incredibly smart and talented people, but it's not an infinite pool of folks. So we're going to talk to you about how balancing cloud optimization and driving innovation, giving you the expertise and resources on the cost optimization side of the ledger that can free up resources to focus on innovation. Last but not least, there's a need for agility. New technology is coming out on a daily basis, and adoption is essential, and being able to leverage those tools effectively and accelerate your time to market. So all of these three constraints that you may be facing, we can remove some of that as the way that we approach cloud optimization and connecting that back to your innovation agenda. It's always at the forefront of any enterprise, but in particular for small and medium-sized enterprises, it's really imperative, especially in a cloud-driven world, because if you're able to adopt these things, you can invest in new technology. As I mentioned, Gen AI is the topic of the day, but it also supports your ML ambitions as well. You're looking to automate parts of your business. You want to further personalize the customer experience, and that's not a new or novel approach. That's been around for many years now. But we're really starting to wade into an era where you can actually realize those aspirations. And Gen AI is just the transformational technology that really allows us to really go down a path to really personalize those customer experiences. And analytics. Using Gen AI, you're advancing the analytic agenda as well. So all of these things are levers that small and medium-sized enterprises are going to be looking at and finding the resources to invest in and drive innovation along these four pillars. calibrating your spend with your innovation investments is challenging, and the challenge stems from just the rising costs from compute. As I get into a Gen AI world, we can talk about charts in another session where Gen AI is driving the use of cloud in a way that we haven't seen in the past. So this isn't necessarily I'm going to reduce my costs, but I want to make sure that I'm optimizing my costs, aligning them to business goals and objectives such that I'm able to take the financial rewards from that and use that to fund innovation as I progress along that agenda as well. So let's dig a little deeper into the spend. Small and mid-sized businesses spent over $1.2 million on the cloud, on their cloud services. That is not a insignificant number, and it was a 30% increase from the last year. So now we've established that we're spending a sizable amount of money on the cloud, and it increased from last year. And if you think that that's going to abate looking forward, it's not, because right now 31% of those same companies are expecting an increase in their cloud spend for this year. And we talked about this. Mid-sized enterprises have to focus on agility, efficiency, and speed to market to stay competitive in a hyper-competitive landscape. So we've talked about $1.2 million being spent. We've talked about that being an increase. So where do you find that savings if you're not going to reduce the overall need for the cloud? Well, 47% of cloud budgets are wasted. This rising spend coupled with waste at the same time means that there are financial resources that you can claw back and then use to fund innovation. And we're going to talk about how we've done that in the past. But let's talk a little bit further about the little market landscape for the moment. Because as a mid-sized enterprise, you have a unique set of technology and business requirements that necessitate you needing to think and act differently to survive and thrive, more importantly, in this Gen AI era we are finding ourselves in. Maximizing cloud cost efficiency in the era of Gen AI and the aspirations that come with it is important. And you need to look at it from a view where you have an integrated view and a standard taxonomy for your entire data estate. Because we're not just looking at one cloud provider today. It's multi-cloud, and additionally adding to that pressure is the data platforms that are out there. So you need to look at across all of these things and have that integrated view and that standard taxonomy so that you can understand your costs, and more importantly, how those costs relate to how your business is being run. AI, this isn't just how do you utilize AI. We utilize AI to drive anomaly detection and alerts such that we can predict and at the very least identify them so that you can take action to avoid rising costs unnecessarily. Using AI and other ways that we drive and do the analytics on your cloud spend, you have automation in the insights, the notifications and actions that result. And that drives efficiency and speed to react. For our FinOps colleagues out there, financial leaders, even business leaders as well, having predictive budget management and forecasting allows you to better understand your budget needs going forward and making sure that you have the funds necessary to finance your innovation agenda, including Gen AI. No surprises. So when you optimize your data estate by looking at those usage patterns, you can right-size your resources based on the actual data workload and looking at that so that you're not putting resources unnecessarily on a project, a program, and bringing resources to the table. You want to automate the optimization and processes, because you want to make sure that you have continuous delivery, predictable delivery, and that it's consistent. And you want to be able to look continuously to drive efficiency across how you deliver those cloud services to your stakeholders. You want to look at your data needs and understand what your business stakeholders are going to need, because as you forecast those future needs, then that aids in your cost prediction and budget management. Looking at things such as redundant data, there you can start to minimize your storage costs. So we not only look at continuous delivery, identifying and allocating your cloud needs across your business. You're going to look also and find those redundancies built within your platform, and then that allows you to minimize your storage cost. And last but not least, we don't want to forget about compliance, which have the adverse risks of fines or breaches. So using our solution, you not only are finding savings that you can drive your innovation agenda, but you're ensuring compliance and mitigating those adverse risks that can come up as well. And you want to make sure that that's not getting in the way of your innovation ambitions too. You also want to accelerate your analytics and operational efficiency with automated insights. So you're constantly monitoring those usage patterns and identifying real-time adjustments that may be needed. And they could be an increase in your cloud based on how you're innovating and how you're delivering your business. And you can also look at areas to reduce. But at the end of the day, you want to monitor that usage, make sure and ensure that it's being applied in the right manner for the right things. You want to automate the scaling of resources based on those demand fluctuations. So as I mentioned, if you're monitoring usage patterns, there may be a time where a spike is needed and necessary, but you want to know when that's going to happen. So you're not taking actions that disrupt the business, and you want to make sure that you're giving them the access to the cloud resources that they need. Cost savings opportunities come up, and you need to be able to identify them without intervention, without manual intervention. So using optimization solutions allow you to proceed in that way. Predictive analytics are used to forecast the cost trends and what you can expect looking into the future, which then drive your ability to be proactive about your optimization and reducing your reliance on reactive measures. So you want to act before the fact, not after the matter, and make sure that you're ensuring efficient use of those finite resources that you have. How do anomaly detection and alerts come into the picture? Well, these are ways that we can utilize auto scaling, workload balancing, and optimize the resource utilization. You can look at historical data, and that gives you a sound baseline that drive the identification of behaviors and those anomalies that you need to identify. You can set dynamic thresholds based on the users, the teams, the projects, the business needs that are using that, such that you are optimizing the use of the cloud and make sure that you have the controls in place, that no surprises are going to come out of the woodwork and surprise you and give you a budget pressure that's unnecessary and disruptive to your business. Real-time monitoring is important for all the reasons that we talked about, but it's also giving you those timely alerts and making sure that you're aware as soon as possible. And it's not coming after the fact, a week later, a month later, or a year later in some instances. We want to make sure that we're catching those things that we're not catching before they happen, but where they do happen after the fact, that you can react and adjust and control before it gets too late. There's automation in the recommendations as well. So our tool is not only identifying based on your parameters and your principles, but it's also giving you recommendations by looking at your cloud spend, how it relates to your business, and the ROI that's expected to be generated and the ROI that is being generated. So connecting those dots and automating the recommendations give you new ways to think about optimizing your cloud spend and ensuring your innovation agenda stays on track. So we've talked a little bit about in-flight, but we also have financial management, financial leaders, lines of business leaders that are forward-looking. And when you're forward-looking, either in budget development season or as part of budget execution, knowing what you have to spend for the remainder of the year and what you can expect, now you have that predictive, those predictive capabilities, so that you're proactive in how you manage your budget and allocate your cloud resources. You're identifying those cost savings opportunities. So knowing those help you manage in-flight spikes or in-flight needs that change from where you may have started in the beginning of the year. So then you can continuously optimize that cloud spend and not constrain or not disrupt things that you're doing to innovate to survive and thrive in this era. Dynamically looking at resourcing, maximizing the efficiency and reducing your cloud spend. So now you have that ability to extend those controls, extend that governance across all of your stakeholders, all with the intent of optimizing resource allocation and minimizing those unnecessary business costs and making sure, like I said, all of these things drive your innovation agenda, allow you to finance those innovations that you're trying to pursue, and in a tight budget scenario where the economy is kind of in flux and we really don't want to know, that becomes even more important. So using solutions like our Cloud Cost Optimizer, that allows you the ability to be confident in minimizing those and making sure that you have the financing to pursue those innovations that you need to compete. So with that, I want to invite Swati to share with you how our CCO, or our Cloud Cost Optimizer tool, has worked for customers, and how we, like I said, the goal of today is to talk about how you connect dots between cloud cost optimization and ensuring your innovation agenda stays on track and is accelerated. So with that, Swati, over to you.
Thanks, Derek. It was really nice to have all the insights about the cloud cost optimization. I think as you talked about the optimization techniques, it's really important to go put some lights into how we are utilizing it with respect to some of the use cases where we have seen this as a real-time solution, where we have worked with our customers. So with that said, I would like to talk about our offering at Impetus, which we officially called it as Cloud Cost Optimizer. And as Derek talked about, forecasting, optimization, resource management, and other key spec of your cloud cost, which helps you into innovation strategy, so that you can have these spends, being minimized from these areas, and you can have them invested into your GenAI era. So with that said, I would like to talk about here a few of the use case. I can recall with one of the use case in our teams where we were working with, setting up the data sets, Databricks jobs for onto, multi-cloud environment. And, everything was running fine, as you can see on my screen. We were running the Databricks jobs onto multi-cloud environment, everything running fine. But soon we have started facing issues with respect to, as soon as we ran into production and seen a peak load of 500 job run on a daily basis. So there started a real issue. We were not able to track, okay, who is actually utilizing the environment, how many jobs are failing, or what is the statistics, how my system would look 10 months down the line, and how I'm going to have these spends consumed, right? So with that said, we have integrated Cloud Cost Optimizer in this environment, and we have seen a huge accomplishment in terms of the cloud savings, or the insights that we are getting from the with the tool integration. As you can see on my screen, it actually helps us to identify the resource wastage. There were a lot of EBS volumes that were being not utilized, a lot of S3 jobs which were not being properly planned, or they were not being planned properly in terms of cleanup. There were some of the ideal EC2 instances which could be deleted to save the cost. So all this real-time insights, all this resource wastage inside, as soon as we integrated the cloud cost optimizer, we were able to get all this information, and we have tracked this information and took corrective action so that we can have a lot of spends being saved for the customer. Then, as you can see on my screen, we were also not able to track the forecasting trend, right? So the cloud cost optimizer helps us in tracking, those forecasting capability. We were able to see the data from how the system was talking about the forecasting capabilities which cloud cost optimizer provide. As we can see on the screen, we can have the data from the last 10-month historical data and from the next 10 months. So FinOps people, business people can predict the the cost trends, but can predict the business and can actually see where they need to spend it accordingly. With this said, the cloud cost optimizer help you with predictive analysis, forecasting the budget trends, and not only it helps you with the budget trends, but you will be also able to see the real world problems in terms of having the cost observability details where we were not able to track out at the user level, job level, and cluster level. So with cloud cost optimizer being integrated into the system, we were able to help the customer. We were able to see the data at user level, how an individual user is costing us, how a single job is costing us, and maybe the Databricks clusters, if or different kind of clusters running into your ecosystem, how those clusters are actually costing you. So all this level of detail you can get from integrating the tools cloud cost optimizer into your environments. Then, as Derek talked about the need of anomaly detection, the need of automation, these tools, we have seen use cases where we were seeing a lot of anomalies being detected into the environment, a lot of issues coming up into different region, and we were not able to track it down, right, where the anomalies are coming up. So with cloud cost optimizer being integrated, we were able to track down those anomalies region wise. You can see on my screen, it clearly gives you the predictable picture uh, on the number of anomalies getting detected into region. Then it will also help you to get the anomaly trend with respect to rules, so that you can analyze which area is costing you, or which area, which service is actually having a lot of anomalies and can actually result into the cost bleed. And depending on those, you can take the automated actions as well. So this anomalies can be actionable item. So for example, if I have a large EC2 instance running, I can actually bind my systems or bind my user not to spin up those instances. They can give it a try, but they won't be able to do so. And apart from that, it will also have the anomalies detected not only at the region level, but also at the user level as well. So if you have a lot of development team members utilizing your cloud environments, cloud cost optimizer help us with respect to detecting the anomalies, like which user is actually creating a mess into your environment, so that you can get the RCA out of it. So overall, with cloud cost optimizer integrated, we were able to get the near real-time anomalies into system and predict the anomalies patterns as well with respect to users and rules integration applied into it. With that said, I would like to talk about some of the success stories where we have worked with our customers, and we have seen, like a lot of use cases. We have helped them with respect to the cloud reduction, and would like to share how we have helped them. So talking about our first customer story, we were working with a Fortune 500 insurance brokerage domain. and we were working with them in setting up the data set pipelines. As a customer was having or utilizing the cloud heavily. They were utilizing each and every services into cloud environment, talking about the EC2, EKS, and a lot of heavily used services. So you can analyze they were actually utilizing around 200 application at a scale, and deploying them day in day out onto cloud environments. So the real problem, the we work with them and we analyze the real problem with them. So we have provided a lot of valuable value deliveries to them. We have created a customized self-serve portal, which is a GenAI based portal for them, where a user can spin up the instances on demand, and this will have the predictive capability in terms of dealing with the inputs given from the development team, and on the basis of development team efforts they can actually run the spends accordingly. Then they can set up the automation to take corrective action based on the daily forecasting trends that we have actually captured by utilization of third party tools. We have also observed a lot of predictions, a lot of utilization model with respect to customer utilization, where we were able to identify the major cost deviations on daily basis and track them appropriately, help them with anomalies detection and to usage pattern, taking the corrective actions for the customer, and generating the cost trends and forecasting pattern. This overall helped the customer reducing the cost of around $300 k yearly saving for, and they were able to reduce their overall release cycle via 75% time duration. And if in terms of percentage, they were able to save 25% of cost with respect to infrastructure creation using the historical data trend which we have created for them. With that said, we would like to talk about our another customer, which is which is a leading global airline system. And there, I think, as we talked about the airline domains, we understand when we talk about the airline, the main criteria is the time to respond, right? So for this, it is very important that whatever operations we perform, we should not have the any downtime available or any downtime impacted onto the system. So we set up the complete data lake pipelines for this customer, and we have identified lot of areas where the cloud spends are minimized or can be reduced for the customers. We have set up the we have identified all the failure jobs from the production environment, took the remediation for those jobs, and analyzed why those jobs were failing. So overall making the production environment very stable. Then we have set up the micro accounts for that, because they were facing issues with respect to their chargeback models in terms of lot of applications running onto Teams. So they wanted to uh, they wanted to have a mechanism where they can charge back on basis of the different applications running, right? So we have enabled the micro account setup for the customer. Then we have created the customized dashboard for Power BI using the Power BI tools for forecasting needs, so that the business people can take the decision accordingly with respect to how the cost is behaving and where they need to actually spend, or decide how the business would go on. Then we have also worked on their DR strategies, where we have helped them with optimizing all of their DR environment. And actually, this overall exercise helped the customer saving 1 million per dollar over the year. And benefits, as I talked about, they were able to reduce the cost by 50%, and then 40K dollar per month saving with faster debugging capability, which is the key for airline based customers. And all of this we have achieved using the cloud cost optimization technique, which Derek talked about, integrating it into the real environment and giving us all the benefits that he just spoke about. So I would definitely talking about the we talked about the use cases, we talked about the success stories for our customer. So the cloud cost optimizer is definitely a go-to tool for your cloud cost innovation spending reduction on technologically innovation. So into Gen AI era, if you wanted to step in, cloud cost optimizer not only helps us with utilization and spend visibility across the cloud environment, but it also helps us with predictable budget planning and forecasting Then it has an integration across the cloud environment, so it's a cloud agnostic tool. You can utilize it on all the cloud environment. Then it has a lot of cost allocation dashboarding capability, which helps you with efficient and transparent chargeback models. If you have multiple applications running, you can have the chargeback capability accordingly. And as Derek talked about, the need of AI powered anomaly detection, automated notification, this tool helps you with covering all those key aspects in one go. So overall, with Cloud Cost Optimizer integrated into your system, we have seen, a 40% reduction into your cloud spend, 50% faster identification of cost bottlenecks, and it actually helps you to have your FinOps culture enabled into the early life cycle of your software development life cycle integrated. So it also has the connections available with the 100 plus tools like ServiceNow, Jira. So you can not only get the information onto cloud side, but if you are interested in getting the information onto your extended services that you are utilizing, Cloud Cost Optimizer is the one stop shop where you can get all the information at one place. So with that said, I would like it again had it back to Derek for concluding it from here.
Thanks so much, Swati. And I think everyone, hope you enjoyed those real world examples that showcase the insights that we were talking about, and how those companies have successfully navigated their acts to optimize for the cloud and their data estate, and all of that improves their innovation posture. It's important when you walk away from this, understand your entire data estate is how you have to look at it. You can't just look at one cloud. And when you look at ROI across your entire data estate, your platforms, your CSPs, you then can understand how those investments are being used and ensure they're being used for the right things. Because at the end of the day, we're all dealing with that do more with less mandate. And that can create some anxiety, some worries, some frustrations. But bringing Cloud Cost Optimizer to the table, then you start to align your cloud usage with your business goals and objectives, and see how those relate and how they play out over time, and make the changes. Because at the end of the day, there is art and then there's science to managing your cloud costs and driving your innovation agenda. And we bring you the science behind it, and it allows you to be more artful in how you're doing it and pursue your innovation agenda. So thank you again for joining us. We know innovation is crucial for your success moving forward. And hopefully today you've learned that these things are connected, and you have the confidence that Impetus can partner with you and drive some of the success going forward. So we look forward to hearing from you soon. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.